Hey guys, how you doing today? It's me, Kelly. So this is another continuation of pastels. I showed you the pan pastels. These are oil pastels. These are Centillier, and these are my favorite. Also, the next video will be our water-soluble pastels. And I have water-soluble oil pastels, and I also have water-soluble wax pastels. And we will do those two in the next video. But let's get to going. And let me show you these buttes that are all over my box here, because I turned them upside down, because why wouldn't I? Why wouldn't I do that? I'm so prepared. Okay. So you can see, now these are quite expensive. They're delicious, they are fantastic, and they're a little bit on the pricey side. Now, I know that AC Moore and Michaels will sometimes have these. So you definitely can go look for these and use a coupon. Then they're affordable. And if this is something that you want to get into and using pastels, I say go for it. But I only got the 12 introductory colors because I'm not a big pastel user. I have, as of late, been using them in my mixed media, but I've not really sat down and done an only oil pastel painting. I love using it in my mixed media. I love using a bunch of different things in my mixed media, but we're going to get to these bad boys today. So as you can see, they are quite, I mean, you know, they're very pigmented. They're very creamy. I mean, it's almost like an eyeshadow, if you guys can see like how nice that goes on, like a nice eyeliner. So they're really, really nice. Now, I use my clear gesso just on my mixed media pad, so you guys can see the difference on a gessoed surface as as to a regular surface. Now, pastel paper, they sell it. It's used for pastels. I think it's important. It's like a, not a gloss, but it's a very smooth paper. I also use Bristol paper as well. I can't find my I might have used all my pastel paper, but if I find it, I will do a sample of all of the pastels that I'm showing you in the different videos on the pastel paper. I'm having a hard time finding it, but that isn't news to anybody because I'm a hot mess sometimes. So this color is called 203. I guess there's no regular good color. I like color names. I don't like numbers on things, but it's 203. It's blue. Let's face it, it's blue. It looks like almost like a periwinkle blue. And it has this blue, and this blue in the introductory box. So you can see you get a nice little wide range. And we'll start light to dark. So I'm just going to start up here. And I'm going to move in just a bit. I have weird lighting today. It's very sunny out, but it doesn't want to seem to help me out in my room here. So I have my little light on, but who knows? All right, so this is, and these are not water soluble. These are straight up oil pastels. So you can see, look how nice and creamy that is. I mean, that smooths out to, let's go in there like that, like deliciousness. This is this color. And then this is the darker color. It's like a more purpley color. Purpley blue. See how nice? Now that's with gesso. So you can see underneath, the one thing with gesso, and I don't care what anybody says, and I don't care, you know, some gessos are rougher than others. Some of the cheaper gessos, even if we make it ourselves, which I highly recommend to make it yourself if you can't afford to get gesso or don't want to spend the money on it, you know, it can be a bit grainy, and you can see like my brush strokes in here. Depending on what you're doing. Now, for me, using it for mixed media, I don't care. That just adds more texture to me. But if you're doing a painting or a pastel picture, you know, you might not want those in there. You want it smooth. But you can see how delicious those are. And then it also has a, let's do like this so you guys can see. It also has white. So I'm going to stick white in between. And then I'm going to blend it and blend it. And this is just with my finger. This isn't even using anything yet. But you see how nice that blends? You get a really, really nice blend. And then you can even take the white, look, over the dark color, and you can add texture, you can write, you can do whatever you want. Now, these can also be sealed with, the Spectrafix. So we could do a background, or you could start a background or a painting pastel painting. I don't exactly know what they're called. And then fix it. And then you can go on top and do layers. So I'm going to experiment with that. After I get done playing on here, I'm going to spray some of my Spectrafix on one side and my decoupage and water on the other and leave that dry. So when we come back with the next video with the water soluble ones, we can do another layer on top. So that's what we're going to do. Maybe I'll just do it. You know what? I'll do it in this video. I'll do it all in this video so it's all stayed together. Staying together. All right, so here's some more colors. This is orange. Just want to show you how nice these colors are. Now that looks a little red. Why does orange not show? Here's my light. Here's my light. I'm trying to see why it won't come up. The orange color that I see. Anyway, that's a nice orange, okay? It's like a pumpkin orange, trust me. Can you see the green? Yeah, that's green. That is green. Black, and we're going to smudge all these in a minute. They're like sticky. Sticky. Not real sticky. I mean, it's not gross sticky, but it's like, it's a little sticky. But that's just the oil. That is brown, which is a dark brown. I want to do a painting and shade with these. That's the lighter green. Or is that the green? That must be the green. I don't know. That's the lighter green, yeah. There's a nice color. It's a nice shading color to use for faces, which I'm going to try. Yellow, red, and that's it. Is that 12? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And you can't have white because white isn't going to show. So I'm just going to kind of see how nice that blends with that. Oh, I like it. Okay. And then we have white. So I'm going to take, where's my little thing at? I wonder if this would work. No, you know what? I'm going to try a little pouncer and let's just see what it does. And that blends it, but it doesn't blend it. You need something harder. That's not real hard because it's a mush and that's not going to work. So what else can we use? I know a makeup sponge would work good, but I think this is a foamy makeup sponge and it won't work as good. Oh no, it's working. But I bet you the foam ones, because this is foam, I bet you the regular makeup ones, the white ones that you get at the dollar store would be a lot better. I don't think I have any of those sitting here. But this blend, look how nice that blends. Nice. Let's do yellow. Oh yeah. Gonna mix some of that dark in there. Blend it. Oh yeah, this is on gesso, remember? But look how nice that blends. Oh, I'm in love. In love. I might, depends on if my life gets a little easier here. I am going to be doing a giveaway with water-soluble oil pastels because those are so much fun and I love them. But maybe I'll do a giveaway, get some of these and do a giveaway. I don't know. We shall see. Now you can see I'm blending with this sponge, right? And obviously you want to take care to, you know, there's like 4 sides on here. So you can do a dark on here, a light, you know, kind of keep it where you're not blending. You can see I'm kind of mushing blending, but it's all right. You know, for the demo, but I wouldn't want to necessarily do that if I was doing a plain, a regular painting with just the pastels. Mixed media, I would have a blast doing this. But now this is the red that I used that other one on, and let's see. And this is on gesso. And if you push, it blends nice, but you can still see, yeah, that's good. And it's blending some of them color. Look how nice it went in there, blended. And then let's blend, and you can clean these off too. I mean, you can wash your sponges off. Remember, they're oil-based, so I would use like Dawn dish detergent because that would get it clean. But, you know, I'm just going to wipe my sponge off here just to get the excess off. And then I'm going to go into the orange. Look at that, how nice. And then some of this brown. It's like a diarrhea color. Caramel, let's say caramel, Cal, not diarrhea. But look how nice those blended. And that's just a little test of the colors. Now that is on gesso, remember, clear gesso. So let's go to the page here that is not gesso, it's just a regular page, and let's try it again and see what kind of results we get. Again, my suggestion is use pastel paper or even the Bristol paper, and because this is a little bit rougher and it's a little bit, you know, it sucks everything in, but it's all right. It's gonna work. I'm gonna work. So this is gonna do the same colors and just kind of put them on there like I'm coloring. These are like, oh, it's like using, I mean, they're oily, that's why. Not in a bad way oily, but let's put some white just to go through. Some green. Here's the light green. Orange. That looks red, but it's really a nice orange color. The other blue. So yellow. A little yellow over here too. I'm going to mix that. And I'm going to mix this too. Some red. And some caramel. Okay, so I'm going to wipe off. And you can see some of it comes off. Look at my action-packed wiping the pastel off on the paper towel. So professional. Okay. So let's start with the darks, and I'll use this dark. This is our black. Now remember, this is on a different paper. So you can see now it blends beautifully. However, you don't get that nice rich color like you do on the gesso because a lot of it's going into the paper. Is it the end of the world? No, it's not. Let me just wipe that off here. And look, you still get all that delicious. All right, now I'm going to do the yellow. And the yellow. You can blend whatever way you want. I'm going to blend in here with this blue a little bit. And then do the blue. And the harder you push, the more it's going to blend. Now, that was a fail because I used the dark side because I was all excited with the yellow, but guess what? That's life. All right, now I'm just going to go. You get my point. But look how nice they blend. They blend good. So you don't have to worry if you don't have the gesso. You know, you can still use it in your mixed media. I just wouldn't suggest you do a full pastel painting. Or at least on this paper, on your mixed media, or I always tell you guys use printer paper or whatever. But you can see, yeah. And that's the gist of it. My hands get tired. Yeah. All right. Okay. But you can see, now the red, not really happy with that red. It didn't blend very well. I'm going to take my eraser and see if it'll erase. Look at that. Like the pan pastels. It erased that off. That's great. Now it didn't because obviously the oil is going to soak into the paper because it's not protected. But, you know, to play around with mixed media or to get any type. Now, I did a giveaway a while back of pastels because there is a humongous price range that pastels go in. So you don't have to go and buy these centilliers. You can go and buy, I think they're called Pentec, I believe, but there are a million. So, you know, don't think that you have to have these ones. These are just kind of the ones I have here. But you definitely can use, you know, the whole spectrum of what is out there as far as those go. Now I'm going to shake. And I'm going to give this side because we had the gesso. You can see definitely how much brighter the colors are when you use the gesso paper. Now I have tons of recipes for gesso. Actually, I have videos online here on YouTube. I have them on my website that you can make your own gesso. And basically it is white school glue, baby powder, and white or whatever color you want to use, acrylic paint to get the paint color. Some people use plaster of Paris. I mean, there are a million out there. I'm going to try to remember to put the link down below to where you guys can check out the different gesso recipes that I have. But and mine, you know, I can only speak for mine. I'm sure everybody has nice ones and they all work wonderful and la da 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 da. But so, you know, like I said, you can search it. A lot of people have used the recipes that I have put out because we've done videos and live shows and all kinds of stuff with them. And people have really found great success with them. So I can speak for mine, but I know a lot of other people have them and they have great success. So well, that's all I'm saying. All right, so I'm going to spray this, and this is just the water and decoupage. And I need to clean my nozzle and use the other one. Oh, that's what I had. That's what I wanted to use. Okay, anyway. And this is the Spectrafix. You can see the different ways that they spray out. And then, where's the other one at? Let me find my other, here it is. And then I'm going to spray this side with just the decoupage and water. And it's the finer mist. I got to clean the nozzle. It's a little, you can see the bubbles coming out because it's a little clogged because I love to put all kinds of stuff in there, paint and everything. And then I'm just going to let that dry and then we will see what it does when we come back. Okay, so here we are with everything dry. So I'm going to show you a few quickies. All right, so I'm going to use on, now remember, this is Gesso, this is not. So I'm going to put this down. This is just a little stencil. And I'm going to use some dilutions. And I'm going to give it a spray so you can see what it does. I'm going to lift that up. And lay that there, and I'm going to hit it with the gun just very quickly. But you can see that you can definitely layer with your sprays and stencils on top. I'm going to do it on the other side where it was gessoed as well. Move all this stuff back real quick. And then we got this one. Get my stencil back. I'm going to put it over here. And I'm going to take my spray. Give it a spray. I want it to kind of be flat. We'll do it right here. Just like that. Lift it up. And hit it with the heat gun too. Just for a second, I'm not gonna. Now you can see that it beads up, right? But in all honesty, it beads up, and I'm not hating on that because, like I said, for mixed media, why not? So let me try to get everything. And I had everything nicely organized, and then I started doing more stuff, painting and stuff, and then I'm jammed. You know, I always jam myself into the corner. Nobody puts Kelly in the corner. My paint supplies do. All right, let's do like that. And then I'm going to move back out again. Okay, so you can see, but they definitely can be stenciled on top of and sprayed and all that kind of thing. I'm going to do watercolor. And I'm just using my little Winsor Newton watercolor. I'm going to wet my brush. Just going to use the brush that came with it. And I'm going to use this yellow here. And I'm just going to wet it. She's going to wet it, wet it, wet it. Okay. And then let's go over this blue right here. Now, can you see? You probably can't. And I'm having the worst lighting in here today for whatever reason. But it beads up on the oil paint, the oil pastels rather. And you can do this with oil paint as well because it's all the same kind of gig. You know, because you're adding water. But it beads up. But you can still definitely get this over it. And then if you do it thinner, you can see it underneath, or you could do a thicker line and it stays over it. Now this is on the gessoed paper, and let's see what it does over here. And it sucks in the water. You can still get great texture with that, and great, you can see great layers on both of these. So you definitely don't have to have gesso. Of course, dilutions isn't permanent, so that's why it went through, but I'm not worried about that. But can you see right here how it beaded up a little bit? That's what's going to happen. Is it a bad thing? No, not at all. You can see those little beads on there. How neat. All right. I'm going to have to clean this out and then lift it up so you guys can see. And this is just regular water, but it definitely beads up. Okay. Let me put this away. Let's see. Can you see how that beads up on there? Yep. So whatever color you put on there, it's going to bead up. Look at that. But once that's dried, that's really, really cool. And what I would do, and this is the side that is gessoed. So you see how you get like some great layering technique on there? And the reason I'm doing this, the reason I like doing these, you know, the oil pastels and talking about all these different things. And like I said, you don't have to have sennelier oil pastels. You can have whatever pastels you can find. You can get them at the thrift store. You can get them at the craft store using coupons. You can do whatever you want. The reason I'm doing this is a lot of you asked me about pan pastels, and a lot of you have asked me about oil pastels in general, and using them in mixed media. I love to do it. And like I said, you get all of this great, delicious texture. And to then go and, now we're going to test this now, because remember, I sealed it with 2 different sealers. We have the Spectrafix, and then we have our decoupage and water. So I'm going to go in here and look, it's not moving. It's not moving, which is a good thing. I really got to change my paint water. It's really dirty. And then look, it's not moving. It's not moving. So, you know, you're kind of fixing it now to go on to your next layers, which we just did. That's why we're going to get such deliciousness on top, because it's not muddying with the colors mixing, if that makes sense. I hope it makes sense. But now we're going to start a brand new, you know, background on here. So let me do this. All right, I'm just going to push that down there for now. So let's say we want to do very quickly, I'm going to add some white to all this, okay? And this is on non-gessoed. And the reason I'm doing this on the non-gessoed is because I know a lot of you don't have gesso, just starting out. A lot of you, you know, don't use gesso a lot. Nothing wrong with that. Like I said, you can make it yourself, but this is just with no gesso. And my water is very dirty, as you can see. Now, you're going to see that dilutions, right? This is just white paint. You're going to see it run because it's not permanent. It's all right. I'm going to make a background really quickly. And I'm going to make sure my brush is wet because I want this white paint to really get a little bit transparent for me. You know, I love doing this stuff when I'm just smearing everything. All right, and then we're going to take our paper towel. Now, you can take your water, you know, as well. And you know it's going to suck into the page because you don't have any protection down, you know. We all like to have our protection. All right, I'm going to add a little bit more water. And what I love, there we go. I'm going to do this on the other side too so you can see the difference on the gesso or not. But look how that has come through. Those are your pastels. So now if you want to go on and you want it to be brighter, you know what I mean? You want these to come through now. You know, when I do the layers for my mixed media, you know, I do all this and these are the backgrounds. These are the things peeping through. And then I always, and then look, you can still see your stencil there with the dilutions, but then look. Look how nice. Maybe we can do the, let me see if I can find, I'll just use this again. Like if we do something like this, I love coloring, but you can use your stencil if you want areas, you know, it's just making little circles. And then take, where's my little sponge? What did I do with my sponge? What the heck did I do with my sponge? All right. Take a clean part. And you can definitely, look, and you're going to bring, I would use a Q-tip for this because they're small, you know, they're smaller holes, but you don't have to. And you can even put the crayon, the oil pastel on here and then do your stencil. And like rub it, you know, go through. And look what you get. So you can, I mean, think about what you can do on so many different levels of the stuff that we use for mixed media. And you can just layer these and it's just so much fun. So if you find them at the thrift store, you find them on sale, you find somebody that doesn't want them and they want to give them to you, don't think, oh, I don't use oil pastels. Get them because there are so many things that you can do, especially in mixed media. And your art journal, this is an art journal, except it's bigger. You know what I mean? If you have your small art journal, it's the same thing. That's no gesso, remember, and let's go to the gesso side. This whole page is gessoed. But, and you can see how much more vibrant it is. It really is. But let's do our, we'll do it in blue. Let's do our stencil over here. And I'm just going in and coloring, and I can take my finger so you can get, you know, a very good interpretation of your stencil if you really want, you know. And because this is on the gesso, it's not soaking in, so you're getting all that good color. And look how nice. You know, look how nice. Now let's put some white on here and see how it reacts. I love sitting and playing, and this is my problem. This is my problem around here. All right, so I'm going to put a little bit of white here. And I'm going to take my paintbrush, and it's wet. And I'm going to, of course, the dilutions again, it's going to come up, but that's okay. Now, remember, this wasn't fixed. This is all fixed. So when I'm going over with this, it's dragging because that oil is touching that water that I'm putting on here. But because these were fixed, and you can use Crayon, you can use whatever, you know, fixative you want. But because these were fixed, and it's on gessoed paper, you're going to get a little bit better of a print, a thing. Now there goes our dilutions. We know that's not permanent. That's water soluble. No big deal. And then if you want it a little bit, you can see how much brighter that is. Let's just kind of, there we go. And you can add more water if you want. I'm not going to sit and do that, but, and it comes through bright. That's our white on there, our gesso, and you can see it, you know, much better. And like I said, it didn't touch this. Now, the only thing when you have things like this, when you're using your pastels, oh dear, sorry. Excuse me. It makes great thing, you know, it's not going to move with water or anything like that, but you have to fix it because if we do this and we make a painting and we don't fix, you know, seal it, let's say seal it with Spectrafix or the decomposing water or whatever, what happens is that dust is going to collect. So if we have this hanging on our wall or anywhere, or you're selling it, you know what I mean? You know, dust is just going to like stick. You know what I mean? So you really want it to be, you know what I mean? Apparently I like saying that today. You know what I mean? And this is just our little sprayer. And I'm just going to spray it on there. And I'm going to spray it on this dilutions here too. Again, it's spitting out and being misty. So it's like a little teenage girl just being a little bit of a pistol today, isn't it? All right. And remember, you want to do a couple sprays, a couple layers of your fixative when you're using the pastels or anything really in general, but I'm going to do one more. I hope you guys are learning. So I have a blast showing like all these different ways to use things because, you know, I've been doing this for years and years and years, and I love doing this kind of stuff, but it can be expensive if you want to, you know, for me, I'm speaking for me. I like to do a million different kind of arts, you know, different arts and crafts and whatnot. So it can be expensive, you know. So I'm not going to just go out and buy oil pastels to try a project to, you know, paint in just pastels and then not like it. And then I'm screwed because I have a very expensive set of oil pastels or inexpensive, whatever. Money is money. No matter how much you spend on something, it's money that's no longer in your pocket. So I like finding all these different ways to use things. And I know a lot of your thrift stores out there and dollar stores have areas in them that where they sell their craft stuff that people give in. And a lot of you have had great hauls from thrift stores with your art supplies. So, if you find them for $1, you know what I mean? Then you can think to yourself, you know what, I can use that. And it's just gonna, I don't know. That's why I like doing it. That's why I like doing giveaways, because although I can't give everybody everything, I can give somebody a new little supply to work with. Okay. I'm very sneezy today. I'm very like meh today. Now be aware when you use your heat gun or hair dryer or what have you, um, if you're straight on if you're using this in your mixed media and you're straight on the oil pastel that you're using, no matter whether it's pan pastel or what have you, it can melt it a bit because it's a waxy kind of crayon type thing. So just keep that in mind. It's not a big deal. I don't care. But, if you really want to try the oil pastels to make art in a complete oil pastel type gig, you might want to, think about it. Now, this is feels completely different than it did. It's not sticky. See how my hand goes over it? It's not sticky at all. Yeah, that's great. Oh, I love it. Now let's do a little bit of watercolor over here. Let's be fancy, shall we? And then I'll let you guys go because it's a long video. But I like playing. And I like teaching you guys. I know people are going to say, it would have been a much better video if you didn't talk the whole time. I don't give a shit. Don't watch me then. All right, look. Look how fun. Look at that. Now you can go in with your little rag and dot off. And you can do it after your paper's dry if you want. Look at that, right? So you're getting a resist. Oh, yeah, baby. With watercolor, and like I said, you can go in. You can wait till it's all dry on your paper, or you could just kind of go in and take that off if you want. Look at that. So much fun. Just so much fun. Just so much fun. Oh, I just love it. I love it. I love the oil pastels. So these are like I said, the center layer oil pastels. It doesn't have to be this brand. It can be any brand that they have. There's a million of them. This is how I incorporate them into my mixed media. The next one will be our water-soluble oil pastels, which are equally as fun. And you can do all these ones I've showed you already. These, the pan pastels, and we're going to show you the water-soluble pastels, and incorporate it all into your mixed media with your acrylic and watercolor, or with not. You can just use these. It's a lot of fun. So let me know what you guys think. And if you have any questions, of course, just ask down below. And I'm going to, like I said, the last one's going to be the water-soluble ones, which are a lot of fun. So as always, be kind to each other. You never know what battle somebody else is fighting. I love you guys. You guys are such a blessing to me in so many ways. Your messages and your emails, and I am so behind, but guess what? I'm reading them all. I love you all. You guys are so inspiring to me, and just keep on being you guys. You guys rock. I will see you again later. Bye, guys.